hello, everybody out there. I know you've been patiently waiting, or if you're Stacy, maybe impatiently waiting. My name is RJ Redden, and entrepreneurs hire me to rocket launch their marketing message because most sound like a carbon copy of everybody else and can't get engagement online or offline to save their lives. So I create messaging that builds relationships, builds contracts, builds everything, builds your bottom line. You got to get your butt out there. Bottom line, get your butt out there. So I messed up my little intro there, Jenny Harkleroad, but I am so excited to introduce you today because you are the star of this show. You're coming out with something next week that is so exciting. First of all, can you tell people who you are, where you're from?
Absolutely. My name is Jenny Harkleroad, and business owners hire us to reprogram their minds for ultimate success because most are stuck in mind chatter, self-sabotage, limiting beliefs. So we help them set up a new automatic operating system. It's simple, it's powerful, it's effective, so they can accomplish their goals, which are typically more money, more time, more freedom. So that is what we do here at Balanced You, and we are headquartered in San Diego, but we practice worldwide, which is phenomenal and exciting, but confusing on time zones still.
Beautiful. Well, Miss Jenny, I've known you for a long time, and I've used your services, and I think that while I was pretty skeptical at first, it was sort of an amazing process, and then later on, as I thought about it, it was just kind of a no-brainer. So how do you, well, pun intended, pun intended. So can you go into a little bit more just the background of why you do what you do and tell the people why it's important?
Yeah, absolutely. So my story came through some hardship and struggle, and I wish I could say I just was fascinated by this idea, wanted to learn about the power of the mind. I went to school and studied it, and it just took off. But no, that's not how it happened. I grew up with a bit of a hard childhood. I struggled with chronic pain for most of my life. I was super successful in the business world. I had a real estate business with 5 buyer's agents and 2 full-time secretaries, and we were producing double digits in the millions, which was awesome because I had the houses and the cars and the travel and anything I wanted. Although my greatest claim to fame is for sure my 4 amazing kids who are now 22, 19, 16, and 13. But it looked good on the outside, right? Married my high school sweetheart, beautiful custom home, all the accolades. But inside, I was struggling with chronic pain. I was struggling in my marriage. I was just unhappy. And I didn't know how to fix it. I wanted to fix it. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to enjoy my life. And it wasn't happening for me. And on the fateful day of August 10th of 2013, I was standing on a mountain ledge with my husband. And he said, if I was young and in shape, I'd jump off of here. And my pride got the better of me. And I said, I'm young and in shape. And I jumped. And while it wasn't like that far, it was too far. And the impact caused me to yell and scream, and for my husband and friends who caught up with us on the hike to call Life Flight. Life Flight ziplined me up to a hovering helicopter, took me to a hospital, pumped me full of morphine. I don't remember a lot of this. And when I woke up, they told me I had a broken back. Bad news.
Bad
right?
news. It's just bad news.
I said, does that mean I can't go to Ashtanga yoga tonight?
Yeah.
They said, no, you're not moving. You're not moving. So I was forced to have some thinking time. And I was trying to figure out my life. Like I wanted to be happy and I didn't know what was missing. I felt like I had everything, all the pieces that should bring joy to life. I felt like I knew who I was, where I came from, where I'm going, what my purpose was. I had this beautiful family. I was successful. So why was I unhappy on the inside? Like, why? Right? And so I continued to try to heal from my broken back. And they told me it would take about 6 weeks. Well, when you are a go-getter, mother of 4, owner of a business, I was into a lot of other things, running an organization in my church and volunteering and fundraising. Like 6 weeks felt like a 60-year sentence, right? So I'm thinking, how am I going to be still for 6 weeks? Well, here's the thing. 2 years later, I still couldn't even sit down in a chair. I couldn't drive my car. I couldn't live my life. And I was so extremely frustrated. I was seeing a different specialist almost every day of the week: chiropractor, acupuncture, massage, physical therapy, kinesiology, pain pills, pain injections. Like, somebody help me. And I decided, you know what? I need major surgery, because clearly something must still be structurally wrong with my back, that all of this has not helped, right? So I schedule surgery, and they cut me open, down my back, down my sides, all over the place, put in rods and screws and a synthetic disc, sew me up on a walker, back brace, send me back home. I don't know if you've had surgery before, but it feels like you got hit by a train. I mean, geez.
Body goes through a lot.
It is crazy, right? So I'm trying to recover from that. And everyone keeps saying, like, did it help? Are you better? And I'm in so much pain from the surgery, I can't yet tell if I'm better, right? Well, about 7 weeks after surgery, the surgery pain had reduced enough that I could tell the same back pain was still there. It's like, great. Now I just did all that. Now I'm full of metal. Now I can't twist because, I got all this other stuff. And it still hurts so bad. And so I went back to the doctor, and they pretty much said, like, sorry, lady, like, take more pain pills, and sorry, this is just how life is going to be. And I was like, oh, no, it's not. Like, I cannot live like this. This is not my life. And so I went home and I started researching and started, like, what have I not tried, right? And so I met this medical doctor turned kinesiologist who specialized in helping people overcome pain and physical ailments with the power of their mind. Now, I thought this was crazy and weird and woo-woo and ridiculous, but I was willing to try it, right? I was desperate. And so I met with him, and he had this way to muscle test and see what was going on in my subconscious mind. And he told me that my pain was emotional, not structural. And I told him he was crazy. I'm like, here's my medical file. Like, here's the MRIs. Here, like, no, it's structural. But I could tell from the tests that we were doing together that the answers that my body was giving him were accurate. Although it didn't make sense to me, I didn't understand it. I believed that is what my system was telling him. And I was confused by that and curious by that, and said, okay, let's just try this. I don't think it's going to work, but let's just try this. And so we continued to work together for 6 sessions. 6, not 60, 6. Right? The day after the 6th session, I'm standing at my desk because I can't sit because it hurts too bad. And like a light switch, the pain just turned off. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to move. Like, I yell for my husband and kids. They come running up. What's the matter? I'm like, the pain, it just stopped. It just turned off. Nobody touch me. Don't move.
Yeah. Don't make anything move.
Exactly. But what happened was, literally, we had cleared out what was triggering that pain signal in my subconscious mind, and it just stopped. It just turned off. And I was fascinated, thankful beyond measure, and obsessed. Like, how did that just happen to me? I mean, the doctors at the hospital, all the specialists, the surgeons, everybody's telling me I'm hopeless. And here comes this medical doctor turn some kind of integrative medicine, tap into your subconscious mind, something weird guy. And all of a sudden I'm like healed. what is going on? And so I became obsessed with the power of the subconscious mind, fascinated. Like, how did that work? How did that happen? And I could not stay off the internet searching the power of the mind and how it worked and how you could reprogram it. And I literally would get real estate calls and I would say, like, I'm sorry, I don't want to sell your $1 million house. I am reading the most amazing article right now about the power of the mind. Did you know? And I would start, and they were like, who, what? What is going on right now? Right? I was obsessed. I talked to my husband. I said, can we sell our big custom built home? I mean, I want to like start over. We can move into one of our rentals. I'm going to teach people about the power of the mind. Now, my husband, oh my gosh, the most supportive guy. And I test this theory frequently because of my crazy, huge global ideas. I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to create next, but it's going to cost us like $500,000. Can I do it? And he's like, go for it, babe. I'm like,
yes, yes, you married well.
Yes. Like, oh my gosh, I'm just like so in love with you even more every time you say yes to my crazy ideas. Well, he says yes because they always work out. So, I mean, there is that, right? Anyhow, so I do that. I sell my real estate business, I sell my big house, and I start over studying the power of the mind and training in modalities on the power of the mind. And literally every problem that I had in my life, not just my physical pain, but the struggles I was having in my marriage, my addiction to painkillers, my low self-esteem from past things, my traumas from past things, it like vanished into thin air. And instead of feeling mad and bad and upset, like I always felt in the past and pretended not to be that way, pretended to be the happy, chipper person that I wanted to be, I actually started to feel like this inner peace and joy. And what had been going on is all this junk in my subconscious that I didn't even realize. Our subconscious mind, it literally controls us about 95 to 99% of the time. It processes 40 million bits of information per second, and it's programmed from when we're about in utero to about 8 years old. Just like we learn the language that is spoken in our house, for me, English, right? We also learn the money language and the relationship language and the health language and all these different, we learn how to live our life. And we would consciously think, well, if something happened growing up and I didn't like it, I'm not going to do that. But what happens is our system is programmed for it and we default into it and then we fight it, right? I don't want to be like how someone in my family was. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I just said what my mom would say, right? Oh, how did I do that? Right? It's in our programming. And so what I've found is that with this process that I use, we can reprogram our subconscious mind and it literally changes our perception. It changes our reality. It's like putting on a pair of glasses. If you can't see, and I love this analogy because some of my kids wear glasses and they have very bad eyes. And the first time we put glasses on my daughter, Jessica, who's now 19, she was in her car seat. She was like 1.5. And she saw crumbs for the first time. And she was like fascinated and she was reaching down and like, I didn't know there was such a thing as a crumb, all these new things that she was seeing. So when you change your perception, it literally changes your reality. Just like if you went to a show and you had a bunch of friends and you all watched, say, a Broadway play together. When you leave, you have all seen it differently. It was the same show, but your perception of the best actor and the best song and the funniest part and on a scale of 1 to 10, how good was it? You would all have different opinions because your perception, your experiences. So that's how we view life. Now, what I discovered is in business, when you're an entrepreneur, you want to be successful. You don't want to job. You want to be your own boss. You want to have unlimited income. And so many times you get into business and you basically just bought yourself a job and you work too many hours and you're stressed over the money and you don't typically even know how to run a business. You just were a good technician at something. So you decided to do it. And then there's all these other facets and people struggle. And so what I've found is that in business, you can reprogram your subconscious mind to succeed in business. So many times what's holding you back is your programming. Now your programming is subconscious. You don't know what it is, except that you can look at your life because your life is a printout of your subconscious programming. So anywhere that you're struggling in your life, that is because that is your subconscious belief. And that subconscious is so powerful, like a tidal wave, you can't fight it. If a tidal wave hit you, you can't overpower it. Even if you're wearing your cape, it's still gonna take you out, okay? That is the subconscious mind. It's that powerful. So people come and work with us at Balanced You, either online or in person, and we figure out what their goals are. And we check with their subconscious mind if they believe in their goals. And if they don't, we help them to literally open their brain bridge. It's called the corpus callosum, build new neural pathways in the brain, and it changes their perception. When they see things different, they act and react different and respond different. And then the response is different back to them. So whether it's, I'm uncomfortable picking up the phone to make sales calls and I want to be comfortable with it, it's so easy to switch that in the subconscious mind. Now, if you try to switch it consciously, it's pretty much impossible to switch. You can force yourself to do it. You can, pep yourself up for it. You can watch a motivating video for it. You can make yourself do it, but for it to just be easy and natural for you, if it's not, you can reprogram that. And so it is with your profits. And so it is with who you attract into your business, your customers, and how you get along with your employees. It's all has to do with your subconscious mind. And I had never heard of such a thing before. I was so fascinated with that. I thought I was in charge of my own life. I thought I was running the show consciously. But really, about 1% to 4% of the time is when we're consciously aware. And you can attest to it. You drive across town and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even pay attention to how I got here. I was on the phone. I was thinking about something else. Like, who drove my car? Was it me? It's your subconscious mind. So it gets programs also by repetition, but most of our programming comes through what we learned when we were a kid, what we saw, what we picked up. And if that doesn't support us, we can change it. We have a simple process to change it. And so that was a super long answer to whatever you asked me back in the beginning.
Well, it was great because, it just, I know you pretty well, and the full journey that you've been through, I think that is great context, because this is not something that one day you read in a book and went, oh, interesting. It was something that you went through every step of it. And to me, I need that context, because I don't think that I understood on a technical level about half of what you just said. You just start to say the word neuro and my brain thinks groceries. I need groceries. But yeah, it's sort of like when I talk about computers to people, they I can see them go, and just fade away. But it's really, it really is it's really valuable to be grounded in that context, because what you're telling people is that honestly, it's simpler to change your life than you think. Mm-hmm. And the process that you use is something that people can do. People can do for themselves, and that's what your stuff is about next week. The challenge that you're doing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So next week we have a 5-day challenge, and in our business, we're focused mostly on business owners. And again, the reason for that is because so many businesses fail, And it kills me. People have a dream and they want to accomplish something, and then they struggle and crash and burn, and it's just not right. And so a lot of that has to do with their own programming and their own beliefs in what they can accomplish. So their conscious mind is like, yes, I'm going to own a business and it's going to be successful. And their subconscious mind is like, who do you think you are? You can't do that. You don't have the skills for that. And that overpowers their conscious desire. And so what I'm going to be doing next week is I'm going to be teaching business owners in this 5-day challenge on Facebook. There's going to be an exercise every day where I'm going to teach you how to reprogram your own mind. So doing it for yourself, I'm going to teach you how to open the brain bridge. That's the first step. And then I'm going to teach you how to clarify your goal. And then I'm going to teach you how to explain that goal to your subconscious mind, because your subconscious is sensory and you have to speak to it in sensory language or it doesn't get it. It's like if you stop at a service station, ask for directions, back in the day before GPS, and if the attendant didn't speak English, he could tell you perfect directions in some other language. Doesn't help. Like, you can't get there, you don't get it. So when we do these affirmations, a lot of times they don't help us because they don't sink into our subconscious programming. We're just saying words. We're putting a conscious focus on something, which is good. We want to be positive. We want to be working toward a goal. But so much more important is to change your programming, because 95 to 99% of the time, that's the result you're going to get, is whatever you're programmed to get. And so we're going to teach you how to describe that goal to your subconscious mind in sensory language. And then we're literally going to teach you a process. We call it a balance process, where you can change your brain, create those new neural pathways in your brain. Now, when you were born, you had about 200 million neural connections between both hemispheres of the brain. It was like a superhighway. And the older you get, the more it separates, and you become more of a one brain or another brain person, more logical or more emotional. And that's just kind of the side you function out of, which is sometimes where they're like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? You're set in your ways. That's how it is. But it's almost like if you were born with 2 good legs, and over time you're like, I'm just going to start using one leg. And then after a while, you're like, dang, life is hard. Like, I'm hopping everywhere. I'm exhausted. Like, this is crazy. Well, the same thing is going on with your brain. So we're going to teach you how to open the brain bridge so you can build those new neural pathways between both sides of the brain, which is going to change your perception of money. It's going to change your beliefs on profits. It's going to change your programming of how successful you can be and what you can create in your business. Now, the minute that happens, the doors just open so that what you're trying to create shows up in your life. And I can give you a perfect example. I've been, building this business, and I've decided to take it globally. And so I've been balancing for that. And sure enough, wouldn't you guess, someone shows up in my life to help me build a global business. I'm like, of course you're here, right? I just programmed myself for that. Now, how does that all work at a quantum physics level? I don't know the details, and I don't think even any scientist does, but there's definitely a law of attraction, and there's also a law of repulsion. And if you're not open to something, if you want higher profits, but you're subconsciously pushing them away, they can't get in. It's like there's a dam up, and the flow of currency, that current of money is trying to get to you. And you're like, sorry, there's a wall up here. But you're saying, I want it, but it can't get through the dam. Okay. So we're going to be like, okay, let's get rid of the dam and let the flow of profits come to you. So that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. And then you can steal this and use it for any goal in your life. Okay. Because we all know we got stuff. Everybody has stuff in their life, and you can reprogram all your stuff. It's so simple and powerful and effective if you do it this way, if you reprogram the subconscious mind. It's kind of like a computer. If you don't like how your computer's acting, you can't yell at it, and it won't change if you yell at it, right?
No,
I'm really loud. You can throw things at it. You can threaten it. You can say positive affirmations to it, but you have to change the programming. And your subconscious is the same way. It's in control. It's running the show. And if it's not supporting you in your goals, you're not going to get them, period. So here's a way. It might sound nutty. It might sound crazy. It might be something new, just like I thought when I heard that I could reprogram my mind and heal my physical pain. But it works. It totally works. So that is what we're going to be doing.
Jenny, I think just cut off. Miss Jenny, you might want to refresh. I'm going to check the Facebook feed here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there you're back. Okay.
I'm back.
Fantastic, darling. Very good. Well, so a lot of, kind of going back to the money thing. A lot of small business owners have a lot of, ideas toward money that don't necessarily work for them. And I guess the way that I think about what you do is that I think about the foundation that you're standing on. If the foundation that you're standing on is built a certain way, you can only build on top of that foundation. If you're standing on a foundation that is opposite to what your goals are, you're never going to build that house. You're never going to make those stones fall in place, right? And so what you do is all about making sure that you have the right foundation that's lined up with the goals that you have. So I know a lot of small business owners, including, myself at times, we have a lot of beliefs that get in our way. So can you tell me 3 or 5 of those that you see the most in your work?
The one that I think every person tells me is just like, where did we all get the same story? It's like, I'm not worthy, and I'm sure we picked it up when we were kids because we were told in some fashion or another, or we perceived what we were told to mean we weren't good enough. And so if we believe we're not good enough, then that's our programming, and we're going to prove that we're not good enough for the rest of our lives. That's our subconscious job, to prove it, right? And so with business success, you have to be worthy. You have to believe you're worthy to create great success in order to create it. And we literally, one of my facilitators, I was talking to her this morning, and she was working with a client recently. And that client told her, like, okay, here's my goals. I'm going to make $100 million a year, and I'm, all these amazing goals. And she's like, but I'm unworthy, and I don't deserve it, and I don't love myself, and I don't accept myself, and I don't trust myself, but let's just work on all those goals. And my facilitator told her, I'm so glad you have such amazing goals. But like you were just saying, RJ, we got to fix the foundation, right? Because you cannot create all of that success and profit and growth into your life if you don't believe you deserve it. You will keep repelling it, even if we program that you can get it. There's like this big disconnect going on. So many times it's not the business details. It's not the advertising. It's not the marketing. It's not the business plan. And it's not even necessarily your why. It's first, get that foundation right. Get that foundation solid. And if you try to build a brand new house on a crumbling foundation, what's going to happen to the house? Right? It's going to start falling apart. And then you're like, oh my gosh, the walls are cracking. We got to fix the walls. The windows are cracking. We got to fix the windows. No, you got to fix the foundation. So when business owners work with us, we start on the ground level, which is like, how's your self-esteem? Now, the funny thing is, it doesn't matter how you think it is. It matters how we test it. We test your subconscious mind. And maybe we can talk about that for a minute. So a muscle test. A muscle test is basically a built-in lie detector test that you have in your system. It's why a lie detector test works, because when you tell the truth and when you lie, something different happens. There's a different physical response. And so we do it with a muscle. We use like an arm. Now, if we're not working in person with you, we're able to do this muscle test on ourselves and your behalf. It's fascinating. It's kind of like, I can call you, RJ, on the cell phone. My phone sends a signal. Your phone receives it, sends me back a signal, my phone receives it, we go back and forth, we have a conversation. Now, how much more complex is the human body and system than a cell phone, right? I mean, doctors and scientists will be the first to tell you they don't get it, right? Yeah. It's so complex. So we have a process where we can pick up your signal and test and see what's going on. And so we will test and find out, how is your self-esteem? How is your personal power? How is your self-worth? How is your belief on business success? And if it doesn't test strong, meaning if you don't believe in those things, we reprogram it. And we don't need to go back, dig into the past, find out why, all of that. We just need to know how you want it to be. And if you're open to changing it, then we walk you through a process that changes your brain so that there's a new pathway. You've heard the word neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity means your brain can change, right? 10 million new brain cells are built every day, and they're either going to follow the same old habits and patterns, or they're going to make a new connection. It's kind of like when they add on to a freeway, they build a new off-ramp. Oh, now all of a sudden we can go this way, right? And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take all those new brain cells that are building every day, and we're going to be like, hey, instead of the same old struggle, how about we put these in a success pattern? Why don't we line them up like that and see what happens? And what happens is whatever you program to happen. So it's fascinating, the power of the mind and our energy field. I mean, inside a cell is like, what do they say, 99.9% energy, and you are attracting or repulsing whatever's going on in your life. And so if you want to change it, you can, and that's where we come in. And it's so fun to work with this, not just in the medical field. Another quick example, we're not doctors. We don't have medical degrees, but we have this process to find out what's going on from the subconscious. So literally, doctors call us to help them heal themselves of what's going on. It makes me laugh, right? Because here I am, and they're asking me to help them heal themselves. It's awesome. Another client, I just heard this story from one of our facilitators this morning, that this guy with sleep apnea. Now, this doesn't have to do with business, but it kind of does, because if you're not healthy, it's harder to build a business, right? And so this guy, he's having trouble sleeping. He has a sleep apnea machine. He does some work with us to build his business. We help him with his health conditions as well. And the sleep apnea is gone. It's like vanished. He called the company. He's like, come pick up the machine. I'm done with it. And they're like, wait, what? That doesn't go away. And he's like, well, it's gone. So come get your machine. Right? So there's so many other aspects of our life that also affect our business, relationships. If you're struggling in a relationship, which so many people are, because we know the divorce rate is like 50% or higher, right? And that's just the people who actually go through with it. How many people are struggling in relationships? And those struggles get in the way of your dreams and your goals and your business success. If you can get that relationship happy and healthy the way you want it, oh my gosh, that opens up so much time and energy for focusing on your goals and dreams in your business and increasing your profits, which makes life fun because, you can do more stuff when you got more money. It doesn't limit your decisions. So that's the power of the mind and the whole foundation. I love that you brought that analogy up. It's powerful.
Yeah. It was coming into my mind just as I was talking. And I think even, when you were a kid playing with Legos, you can't build a platform over here that doesn't have anything standing. You have to put it on something, and that's like, I think, the way I was thinking about it. But it's true. I mean, certain builds accomplish certain things, and certain builds accomplish other things. Well, I want to ask you this: is it possible for a small business owner to have some of these limiting beliefs, even though they don't consciously know they have them?
Absolutely. So our subconscious is subconscious, right? It's out of our conscious awareness. And sometimes if you Google subconscious and look at images, you'll see the image of an iceberg. And the top of the iceberg is your conscious mind. And the big mountain below is your subconscious mind, and you don't know what's in there. And I would say I'm a perfect example of being out of touch with my subconscious and what was in there when I started working with this doctor, because he's like, so, tell me what's going on in your life, because my muscle test showed that my physical pain was emotional pain. And I'm like, nothing. I'm happy, healthy, and terrific. I told him my affirmation, right? And he's like, well, what's really going on? I'm like, no. I mean, everything is great, right? Like I totally had myself fooled. But then it's like, well, why are you in chronic pain, and why are you struggling in all these areas of your life? What's really going on? So scientists say that about 80% of our thoughts are negative, and 90% of them are a repeat of yesterday. So are we really creating a new reality, or are we just repeating our yesterdays with the same old thought process? We have so much negative junk in our head. I've had clients tell me, like, I feel so free right now. Like if I compared it to before, it was like I was chained down and didn't know. Or I had a backpack of, 200 pounds of boulders that I was hauling around with me and had no idea. Like there was all this stuff in my subconscious mind slowing me down that I wasn't even aware of. And now that it's gone, it's just like, free, right? So you don't know what's in your subconscious mind. You don't know what's getting in the way. You can just see that, oh my gosh, I have these goals and they're not happening, and I'm struggling and I'm frustrated, and why? Maybe I need to do better marketing. Maybe I need a better business plan. And we look at it with that focus. But if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to find the right key to build your business. You're going to not find the right coach or the right strategy or the right system. The minute you change yourself internally, the perfect things show up for you to create what you're trying to create. And not only that, we have the same coach, awesome Jane M. Powers, right?
Powers.
And I have to say, she loves working with me. I'm sure she loves working with you too. But when she tells me to do something and it feels uncomfortable, I reprogram it and then I do it, right? Most of her other clients that don't know how to do that have to fight through the uncomfortable and maybe go a little slower because it's so uncomfortable. So it's like in business, it's this head start. It's this huge push forward that you can just, oh, this is hard. I'll reprogram it. Oh, that feels like a block. I'll reprogram it. Oh, how would I rather feel about this person or that situation? Or, oh my gosh, that thing one of my clients said on the phone, that annoyed me. I must have some subconscious trigger. Let me get rid of that. I mean, you can change anything. I just thought of the cutest story. So last night, I'm sitting in my 16-year-old daughter's bedroom. She's daughter number 3. And a couple nights ago, so our oldest daughter's getting married in October. So we all have wedding on the brain, right? So my 16-year-old last night, we had been talking about, I'm like, so Ashley, who, when you get married, like, what are you looking for? Like, who do you want to marry? What are the values, and, what are the non-negotiables? And we were having fun. I'm like, tall or short, fat or slim, dark or white, like, I mean, whatever. We were just having a good time. So last night we're sitting on the bed and we're talking, and she goes, hey mom, I forgot one really important thing that I forgot to add to the list. And I'm like, oh, what is it? And she's like, he must know about the power of the subconscious mind. But he must be willing and able to reprogram himself and not get in his own way. And, she went on about all the stuff that I do. And I'm like, yes, that's my girl, but that's so powerful because you don't have to struggle. And even if it's something's in your genes that's showing up in your life, literally, if you weren't born with that struggle, less than 1% of the planet has a disease in their genes that they're stuck with. Less than 1%. The rest of us create it because we think it runs in our family, or, there's all these reasons. So you have the power to transform your life. And we would love to help you do that. And we start with your business and transforming your profits and transforming your belief in yourself and what you can create. And then if you want to work some more on some other areas of your life, it's kind of hard not to. It's kind of like you remodel half your house and you're like, oh, I want to do all of it. Like, this is so amazing. Tell me more, tell me more. So I am going to tell you how you can learn more about this process, how you can sign up for our challenge next week, how you can have a free 30-minute call with us where we talk about what's working and what's not and what you want to be working in your business. We also have a 3-day live event in San Diego coming up. We still have early bird tickets, right? We're still a couple months out. You can get a ticket basically for free. You put down a seat deposit and you get the money back when you get to the door. So you can get all of that. Don't forget the challenge next week. That's why we're here, right? You can get all of that by texting the word. We're going to make it one word, not two. Okay. Ultimate success, no space. Ultimate success to 555-888. When you text ultimate success to 555-888, you're going to have 3 options. You can text the word call, you can text the word challenge, or you can text the word event. It'll explain it all to you, or you can do them all and take advantage of all the offerings we have for you to help you reprogram your mind for greater profits.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so that brings up an important point. And I think that, our friend Jay Fizzette talks about this one all the time, a limiting belief that a lot of people, small business owners have. And it's one you don't even think that you have. It's just he brought this up one time at a conference and I was like, whoa, the fact that entrepreneurship has to be a struggle.
Yes.
You need to be working 16 hours a day or you're going to lose your business. Nobody survives beyond 5 years and all those things that you hear or that people tell you that don't necessarily have a lot of basis in fact. It's what this process does that Jenny will teach you next week. The process allows you to say, you know what, I have a choice about this. I can continue to, believe that, or I can, do something different and have, enjoy better success. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I would like more money. Who would not? I will admit that I would like more money.
Absolutely.
And so, what do I do with that? Do I listen to all of the, children are starving in insert country here. You don't deserve more money. Why do you think you need more money? You're not a hot shot, all of that kind of stuff. Do I listen there or, do I get a chance to practice what Jenny's teaching next week and change my reality a little bit? So, just a personal thing, but met Jenny last year in September. I don't know her from a hole in the wall. She's tabling across the way. She seemed busy, so I never went over to even talk to her. And then, over many events together, we met and I got to, do some services with her. And the reason I asked the question, why, is it possible to have limiting beliefs you don't know you have? I had some, and it wasn't until I actually talked about it with another human being that I went, you know what, that one's really dumb, and got to course correct for some of that. And, through many factors in the last year, my life is not recognizable. Last September, I'm doing bots, I'm hanging out, I'm working, but like the things that I get to do today are so different. The people that I get to know, including Jenny, all of you wouldn't recognize my life.
I love to hear that. Good job, RJ.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes. And you did that. You created that.
Well, and that's what I like about your method, because it's not dependent on everybody else and the whole rest of the world and what happened many years ago and all of that stuff. It really is just your own bit of elbow grease in this method that you're teaching people for free next week. And their lives are changing. So, So yeah, that's what I love about the method, because it's not dependent on everybody else. It's just how hard do you want to work on this.
Yeah.
So
How would you rather have it? You know, you catch yourself complaining or griping to yourself, oh my gosh, I can't believe this or that. And then you can stop yourself and go, wait, how would I rather have it? Reprogram it. And it's like literally changed. Oh my gosh. Take advantage of that.
and take advantage of this for free, you guys. We don't always just talk about bots on the show, because people have lives that aren't bots, people that are not. Anyway, our lives as business owners encompass so much more. She's teaching all of this to people for free, for nothing. Do your exercises every day, do your homework every day. You have absolutely nothing to lose. You probably, like 100% probably, going to uncover some stuff that you didn't know you believed, and be able to work yourself out of those. So, it's not just all about, bots and programming and marketing. It is about our whole lives. And, are you enjoying your life?
Yes.
So Jenny can help you do this, people. I promise. I wouldn't lie to you, because I have no reason to. We've got the text the ultimate success to 555-888. I have that in the comments there. So do it. Take a chance, because this woman is trustable. So that's all I know, Jenny.
Thank you. I know that you all have the power to create the life and business of your dreams. And this course, this challenge next week, will teach you how to do it. So are you ready for that? Are you ready to step into taking the reins of your life and driving it right into the direction you want it to be? If you are, join us and we will teach you how to do it. And you can literally use this process for the rest of your life. And this is not a process that you're repeating daily because you have to redo it. This is a process that you're repeating daily because you find more things you want to reprogram. Once you have this like magic wand, you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm going to change this, and now this, and now this. So that's super powerful. It's not like, oh my gosh, now you got to keep repeating this every day so it like holds or sticks. No, you find out what else you want to change in your business. How else you want to grow your profits? Who else do you want to hire? Who else do you want to attract into your life? What type of client do you want to be calling your phone line? That's all stuff you can attract into your life with this specific process.
Awesome. I can't thank you enough for coming and hanging out with my community and talking to them about this. This is some valuable stuff, and I look forward to everything we're going to do together in the future.
Yes.
People, if you go to this 3-day live thing with me, I will be there.
Oh, RJ's going to be there. Yes.
I'm sponsored. I got a little table, and Jenny's going to be there, and all of our crazy friends that we talk about all the time.
Yes, Jane Powers will be there. Jane M. Powers.
M. Powers. You need to meet that one. That little ball of fire is a lot of fun. So if you want to come hang out with us and all of that, the event still has early bird pricing. So please do that. And thank you, Jenny. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you so much. One last shout out to Ultimate Success. Text Ultimate Success to 555-888. So you can get the call, you can get the challenge, you can get the event, all no cost. And thank you to the amazing RJ, who's been running my bots for, I don't know, ever since I had a bot, ever since I heard of a bot, ever since I discovered a bot. And everybody tells me, you are a marketing genius. I'm like, you're confusing me with RJ. I have no clue what's going on with my bot, except that it works. And people like, they have a conversation, they learn stuff, they get free stuff, they work with us, and they love it. So thank you for doing that for my business and my clients. It's been phenomenal. So if you don't have a bot with RJ, what are you waiting for? Get a bot with RJ. And I think she can even teach you how to do your own. Are you still teaching classes for that?
Still teaching classes for that. Absolutely.
Okay. So come on, people. Get a bot if you don't have a bot with RJ.
Get a bot, people.
Yeah, get a bot.
All right. Well, that we're probably going to let you go and go back to work. But thanks, everybody. Listen, folks, I am not going to be here on Thursday. Why? I'm in Phoenix. I'm in Phoenix because that Jane M. Powers is having a live event, and I can't bear to have her have one without me. So I'm a hanger on at this point. But it's a speaker boot camp. It's going to be super fun and fabulous. I'll be back next week. And hopefully with some technical guys about a new platform that I want to show you. And yeah, so have a wonderful week. Join this challenge, and I will see you all in a bot.
See you later.